Welcome. Let's learn to make cyanotypes. My name's Jonathan, and I'm a cyanotype artist hailing from Juneau, Alaska. Let's make some prints beautiful, just like these. To do that, we're going to start with an image. Here's a black and white on a nice foggy day that has some great feeling that comes across in a cyanotype. Let's show you how I made it. Part 1. Let's make the digital negative. The image first in Lightroom, and here you're going to want to make any of the adjustments that you choose to make. If you aren't real experienced with it, you can try the auto setting. It usually does a reasonable job. I encourage you to increase the clarity slider. It gives a little bit more pop in the ending image. I'm going to then open this in Photoshop. You can use whatever programs you prefer. I'm not here sponsored by Adobe or anything else. First thing you're going to need to do is invert the image to make it into a negative. That's going to be a key factor in the creation of your digital negative. Now it's very important that you apply a custom curves layer. I'll put the details in the description. This curves is recommended by Christine Anderson, who is probably the world expert on cyanotype printing. And she's identified this curve, which really brings a well-processed negative into a tonal range that will show everything well with the cyanotype. You also want to flip it horizontally so that the image will print correctly when you go to make the final print. Then you'll go into the print settings. You need to use a nice inkjet printer. Set your paper type to some form of glossy paper, and I prefer to print just using the black and white photo inks. I like to then change the color handling to be handled by Photoshop. You're going to get more reliable results that way. Select again a glossy surface. I like to use the perceptual rendering intent and turn off black point compensation. Now make sure the output size is at least 0.2 inches larger than the final print that you want to create. Then you're going to insert the transparency film into the back of your inkjet printer. It'll generate a nice digital negative for you. And here you have the final digital negative. Part 2. Let's talk about how you can prepare and sensitize the paper. Here I'm trimming the paper to size. I shoot primarily in a 2x3 dimension, and so I'm trimming this 8x10 paper to about 6 3/4 to by 10. Then you're going to mix your sensitizer. There are kits that you can get for this in a variety of places. I mix my own chemistry because it's less expensive with the volume that I use. Then you add the sensitizer B and mix these together at a 1-to-1 ratio. Give a little stir and it's ready to go. You lay out your paper, and I like to put a bead of chemistry down across the paper and then paint it on with a good 3-inch flat brush that has synthetic bristles. I've had the best luck with. And you're going to want to brush across the page a number of times to let this emulsion soak in to the paper. But as you brush across, you're not letting it concentrate too much in any single given spot. Then hang it up to dry. Do this as many times as you'd like for as many pieces of paper as you plan to print with in that day. The paper is sensitized and ready to go to use after about an hour of drying, and dry them in the dark. Next is the exposure. Here I'm going to put the digital negative into a printing frame that is made just for this purpose. You can do this just with a couple of sheets of glass or even a picture frame as well. Here I'm sandwiching the emulsion of the dried sensitized paper onto the emulsion of the digital negative. I sandwich them together, which my little printing frame here puts pressure on them. And then I'm putting the printing frame into a custom UV printing box that I made. The easiest way to do these types of cyanotype prints is just to go and stick it out in the sun. Any kind of UV light is going to be sufficient to make exposures for you. I use some pretty high intensity UV lights to shorten the length of time I need to use for the printing. My system allows me to make a print in about a minute to a minute and a half, but outside you may have results that take a little bit longer than that, sometimes as long as 45 minutes. Once the exposure is done, remove the exposed image, and you'll see here, this looks quite different than that yellow paper that went in there, as that image is exposed onto the paper. Now let's talk about developing the exposed print. You can see here again at the beginning what this print looked like coming out of the exposure box, and I'm going to put it into a bath of cool to lukewarm water that is running for about 3 or 4 minutes. Once that's had adequate time to rinse in the bath for that 3 or 4 minutes, carefully take it out and put it into a second bath. This is the oxidation bath that has hydrogen peroxide. You don't need exact measurements. Just a few tablespoons for a tray of water will be sufficient. What this does is it oxidizes the image and brings out those darker blue tones into the image. Those will come over time if you simply use drying time in the air, but this helps you see what the picture looks like in its more final form right away. So the second print here is being developed, and let's put it also into this oxidation bath. And you can see those dark blue colors coming out. Really beautiful. That Prussian blue. Once it's been through here, rinse it for another 5 minutes or so in that bath of running water. Then hang it to dry. Let's look at the final prints. Here you'll see scans of these 2 prints that I made. They beautifully show the warmth and the glow that can be felt in a cyanotype, especially in this foggy image. Some additional examples of other cyanotypes I've made recently, so you can see the outcome of this beautiful printing process. Feel free to put questions down in the comments. I hope this is helpful. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be making a more detailed, in-depth guide to making cyanotypes step by step. Stay tuned.